Thank you for some faces. Let me put on my glasses. Oh, there you are in focus. Hi, Alec. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Dan. Hi, Sagar. Chris is with me. Chris is helping me tonight. He is an undergrad at UCLA. He's from China and was here for a year and then had to go back for COVID. And now he's back. He's focusing on cognitive science with a minor in stats. And he's going to help run the evening tonight. Chris, could you pronounce your last name so I'll say it correctly?
Yes, Lee, L-Y-E of Lee.
So Chris is one of the clerks on our team. So sometimes when you call the office or are working with Aaron, submitting your transcripts and things like that, you will get to have some of your questions addressed by Chris. And Chris, thanks for helping us tonight. All right. So what am I doing wrong? Okay, there we go. Do you guys see this screen okay? Give me a wave, give me a thumbs up. All right. Well, we'll jump on in. There'll probably be some more people joining. We'll hopefully have a fun evening tonight. I'm looking forward to this. And yeah, so let's jump right in. So the name of this is Why FEMBA, Writing Your Career Story. So if you choose to apply, you're going to write some essays. You're going to do some reflection. You're going to look at where you've been so far in your life and where you want to go and how a graduate degree might help you get where you'd like to be. And yeah, so tonight is designed not really to try to sell the program so much. Hopefully you're aware of the reputation and you maybe know some people in the program, the rankings, things like that. You're aware of UCLA's overall reputation. But tonight is more personally like, well, I could go to grad school, but should I get an MBA? Should I get an MBA while I'm keeping my career? Is UCLA the school I'd like to trust to aim at the highest thing that I could aim at for my career? So that's what I want to kind of cover tonight. This is me. I've been here. I'll celebrate 20 years next fall. I'm 52 years old. I got my MBA back in 1995 from the University of Chicago. It wasn't even called Chicago Booth yet. I went to Texas A&M undergrad. I grew up in Texas, so that's the twang that you'll hear. I spent 6 years after my MBA with the German company Siemens and had an incredible run in the Silicon Valley. I went to the world headquarters in Munich, Germany for 3 years. I was on a global change management team, and then we all got laid off after 9/11. And I came to Los Angeles with my wife. She was not my wife yet. She was my girlfriend becoming fiance. And got a little foot in the door job at UCLA in 2002 and never thought I would stay more than a year. I became the director of admissions after a year. I became a dean back in 2012. I love what I do. It's a super fun place to be. I was a preacher's kid. My dad was a minister. My mom was a school teacher. Nobody in my family was really a business person. And getting an MBA has given me a tremendously interesting life. 2 careers so far. I've written a couple books. I've got a podcast I'll tell you about, give you some links. I get to work in one of the most incredible places in the world, UCLA, meet some of the most interesting people in the world. So for me, an MBA really, and fundamentally, I just wanted to get married and have a family. So, your goals, I'm sure, are very different, but they might include some of that. And they may have things that are totally other than that. People get MBAs for all types of different reasons. And tonight, it's really a chance for some reflection. Here we are coming up on the holidays. Great time to look at the end of the year. Where am I? Where do I want to go? And how might I raise my trajectory a little bit higher? So that's a little bit about me. Like I said, I have a podcast. It's called Drive Time. It used to be just audio. And then in COVID, we switched over to video. I've recorded about 75 official episodes plus some extra episodes. Real stories of our 3 pillars, right? Thinking fearlessly, sharing success, driving change. And I'll give you the links to some of the interesting stories. This past summer, the graduates in the 2021 class, we sent them a survey and said, if you could only nominate 3 people from your class. And so we took the top vote getters and just going across. James here, his family, he's first generation American. His mom and dad came from China, real struggling America immigrant story. He graduated from Syracuse, was working with PwC, then came out west and had a California adventure and reinvented his career. He had been a consultant for 7 years And now he's in health tech and went back east to be with his family at Flatiron Health. That's episode number 70. Episode 71 here, Derek Cox played in the NFL, National Football League, for 7 years. He played for 5 different teams. He intercepted both Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in his NFL career. And it was coming to be the end of football, and he wanted to reinvent himself. And he's now a sports agent, sports marketer. Maxine Hupy was a professional dancer. She studied dance at Northwestern for her college, and then came to LA and made a living as a professional dancer, was on CeeLo Green's world tour, traveled with him for 2 years, was on his Las Vegas tour company. And now she's a senior consultant for Deloitte. And Ben Rovner, bottom left here, episode 73, he was a professional actor, and he left FEMBA, graduated as a consultant with Boston Consulting Group. And the day we recorded his interview, he had a 5-day-old baby daughter, his first, with he and his wife. And his quote was, when I got here, Dylan, I didn't even know what consulting was, and now I am one. Arun Mathai is a wonderful story. He's from the world of nonprofit. He's a finance manager at LACMA. He's also a professional dancer, practices a very special kind of Indian dance, and continued his dancing all through school. And lastly, Megan Roberts was our student body president last year. Her father got an MBA from UCLA, and she was just the perfect president to get us through the pandemic. So these are some of the interviews that you can hear later to hopefully go deeper in your education. This is my team. You met Chris already. Christy, Roy, Raymond, Aaron, Chris, and Cynthia. We're a 7-person team, small but mighty. Christy's on maternity leave right now, but she'll be back in the winter or spring. So you'll meet us as you go through your journey. And then we have our FEMbassadors. We have Will and Wing are the co-presidents, and we have about 60 current alumni FEMbassadors who are waiting to answer your questions. So these are our deadlines. The next deadline is January 11, and then we have round 3 in April 5th. There's no change statistically between the rounds in terms of your chances to get admitted. If you apply in round 1 and 2, there's a 100% chance you'll get your desired schedule. If you apply in round 3, sometimes one of the different schedules is more popular, so you might not get your first choice schedule, but we get everybody in the program. After you apply, you get a thank you for applying email, and you get to sign up for the Super Saturday interview day, which is a half-hour face-to-face Zoom interview with a current or an alumni volunteer. It counts like a third letter of recommendation. So if you apply for round 2, January 11, your interview day would be January 22nd. Or if you apply for round 3, April 5th, your interview day would be April 16th. All these dates are on the website, but I just wanted to start with them. So we're gonna start with a breakout here, and Chris is gonna pair you up into groups of 3. And we'll have 6 minutes, so 2 minutes each. And introduce yourself. Hi, my name's Dylan. I work at UCLA. I'm a husband. I have 2 children. I'm in education, and then why are you looking for an MBA? Okay. And we have so let me introduce these 4 different categories. We have what's called enhancing. And enhancing is, I like my job. I'm happy at Boeing, or I'm happy at Google, wherever you already are, but I want to enhance my opportunities. I want to expose myself to more opportunities, but I definitely want to keep working where I am. Or I want to switch. I'm like, yeah, I'm not happy anymore at my company. I want to switch into something new, and an MBA is a great way to do that. But I want to keep my job while I make that switch happen. And we have a full career services team. You could switch your job in FEMBA just the same way you can switch your job in our full-time program. You can do an internship. You have to take a leave of absence, but you can do a summer internship. You can use on-campus recruiting to look for opportunities. So you can switch into something totally new. The third of 4 categories is called exploring. So maybe I want to enhance, maybe I want to stay at Boeing or Google, or maybe I want to switch. I just don't know yet, but I want to meet the faculty. I want to meet the classmates. I want to see what's out there. I want to explore new options. And then the 4th category is entrepreneur. I want to start my own company. Or maybe you're going to be a family business. Maybe you're going to inherit a company. Okay. So does everybody understand? You got 4 choices. Okay. Think to myself, when I introduce myself, I'm going to say my name, my company, maybe where I went to undergrad, a little bit, fun fact. You got 2 minutes total. So introduce yourself. And then, what is it that for you would make it worth getting an MBA? I want to enhance where I already am. I like where I am. I just want to open up more opportunity. I want to switch to something new. I'm not sure. I want to explore. Or the fourth category, I want to be an entrepreneur. Okay, so you might turn on your cameras, meet each other, enjoy a little networking. We're going to take 6 minutes. And Chris, we ready to go? All right, we will see you back here in 6 minutes. Have fun. Enjoy meeting each other. We'll keep recording. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back, everyone. Chris, thank you so much for setting us up. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Got a little sense of, that's, if you're going to get an MBA, that's what you will do over and over and over and over. You will get so good at jumping into a new group, introducing yourself. So we'll have 2 more breakouts if I can keep the timing right tonight. And you'll get to meet some other people. That's part of the big fun of an MBA is the network. And people always talk about the network is almost as important as what you learn in class. So hope you enjoyed meeting some fellow future graduate students. So let me just jump on and continue forward. Let's see, I just want to make this bigger. Okay, there we go. So, if you're thinking about the fully employed MBA program, you might also be thinking about, well, how do I know? Do I want to do the fully employed or the executive MBA or the full-time MBA? And I'm only talking about the fully employed MBA tonight. And what you can know about it, it's the same faculty, it's the same diploma, it's the same campus. It's 60% in common with our daytime, but you get to keep your job. So our fully employed and our executive MBA programs, you earn the same diploma taught by the same faculty on the same campus, but you keep working. And that's, one of those things. It's a personal choice. And that's a lot of what I want to support you in looking at for yourself tonight. It's like, do I have a job that's worth keeping? Like, I worked hard to get here and I'm still learning at this job and they respect me and I respect them. And I just don't want to give all that up and be a full-time grad student. That's where the FEMBA program, that's our value proposition, is to let you manage your life that way. And, it's fun to be a grad student, right? The typical FEMBA is about 30 or 31 years old, but we have some people younger. We have some people much older. It's a wide variety of people, but what they all have in common is for the 2.5 years of the program, and you can do the program as short as 2 years. There's about 5 people who've already graduated who should be next year's class, but they're already done. Or you can stretch it out to 4 years. So the program is highly, highly flexible. But the whole time that you're in it, you get to say, at cocktail parties, I'm a grad student at UCLA, Yeah, I work at Boeing. Yeah, I work at Google, but I'm also a grad student. I'm getting my MBA. So yeah, I see those smiles. It's like a little bit of a thing, right? Like, hi, yeah. What are you doing? Oh, I'm sitting on the couch. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm working on my MBA, right? And it's a fun thing to get to say. And you get to be part of UCLA. Chris knows, right? We're the #1 public university for 5 years running, according to US News and World Report. It's just really pretty remarkable. 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. And if you've traveled around the world, it's not UCLA. When you go to India or China, it's not UCLA anymore. It becomes UCLA, right? And, many of you probably have friends and family who are graduates of UCLA. And we're one of the top 5 alumni networks in America. There are 540,000 UCLA alumni around the world, from undergrad plus all the graduate programs. And it's one of the most recognized university brands in the world. I've done several of our global immersions, and both when I was in China and when I was on the global immersion in India. It's fun, right? Being on the subway in Delhi with my UCLA bag, and people come up and start talking, hey, are you from America? It's amazing to be part of that. And it's a brand that travels around the world. And the fully employed MBA program, which we call FEMBA, we're #1 also. Ever since they've had rankings in 1996, the rankings began. FEMBA has always been the #1 part-time MBA in Southern California. Right now, we're number 5 in the nation. We've been as high as number 1 in the nation. Right now, we're number 5 in both U.S. News and World Report, and Fortune just came out with a new ranking for the first time last month. So you get to be a part of that. And this program transforms careers. You get to transform your job while you keep your job. And that's a nice thing. You still have a paycheck. You're continuing to add years of service on your resume. In 2019, the year before the pandemic, we surveyed our graduates 4 months after graduation. And our career team, so we have a dedicated career services team who focuses just on the fully employed MBA program. And they, instead of just sending a survey and getting a 10% response, they called, and their goal was 75% participation. And they got answers from 75% of the class of 2019. Said, where was your salary when you started FEMBA? Where is your salary now? 4 months after graduation. And we had never done this before. And it's kind of amazing we had not done it. And they said, you know, on average, 75% reporting plus 49%. So if you take your salary right now and you say, okay, 3 years from now, I could be making, you know, 1.5 what I'm making now. That's the kind of results that people generated. And we were so excited about that result that we didn't believe it. We thought maybe that's a spike. And, you know, and then so we waited, and then all of a sudden, of course, it's COVID. So then we're like, oh God, what are we going to learn? And last year, 2020, during COVID, we were very nervous. Same thing, 75% participation rate. It went up even higher. Okay. So that's the thing. If you've got a job it may not be your forever job, but darn it, you worked hard to get here, and you're learning and you're growing and you're supported, and you know you want an MBA and you don't want to give all that up. This is the type of result that people create. And if you think about it, we'll circle back to this in a little while, but if you think about it, you're probably not doing the same thing at the end of FEMBA that you were doing at the start, right? Because no one ever gets a 49% raise to do the same job. So this is a way, even if you are an enhancer, this is a way to be doing something new and different at Google or Boeing, or if you're a family business or wherever you are, right? And if you're an entrepreneur, that's a whole other category. Okay. And so some of the highlights, some of the things that help us be the #1 program in SoCal. We have an incredible field study. You have 2 choices. The 6-month applied master's thesis, you have 2 choices of either the Global Access Program, where you are on a team of classmates that you get to select, and you're matched with an international high-tech, high-growth company, and you consult with them for 6 months, and you get to see everything. You get to see the inside of an early stage, high-tech, high-growth company, and you really get to see, like, what is it like to be the C-suite and have to juggle everything in an early stage company. So that's our historical program. That's the Global Access Program. 75% of people do that. We have the alternate pathway for our entrepreneurs called the business creation option. And the business creation option, that's how do you start your own company? And it's equally as impactful, but you're actually developing your own business company. So we don't know of any school that has anything at the level of these 2 programs, the Global Access Program and the business creation option. And that's not my word for it. That's our faculty. Our faculty are very, very proud. We've been doing field studies since 1969. So we really know what we're doing about giving you a chance to have an immersive field study experience where you get to test drive your MBA in real time. We also have our global immersion courses. So these are 1-week study abroads. I've been on 2. I went to India in 2010. I went to China in 2015. A third of the students on the India trip were Indian. And I was asking, like, how come you're doing this? Why didn't you go to South America or Eastern Europe? And they said, you know, Dylan, look, I came to America. I got my master's degree. I was on a F1. Then I got a job. Now I'm on an H1. And, you know, it's like, I can't believe it, but a decade has gone by and I only go home to India on vacation. I see my family and, you know, I go once a year for 3 weeks, but when I go home, it's all family. I don't really get a chance to see what's happening in the Indian economy. And honestly, I don't even recognize India myself anymore. So I'm doing a study abroad to my own country because I know at some point I do want to go back, right? So that's one example of why people do global immersions. For others, it's to go someplace they've never been before. we don't go to easy countries. We don't go to English speaking countries. We go to countries that are multilingual as a minimum, or where English is not the native language is more typical. We go to the places in the world where things are happening. We go to Eastern Europe. We go to the Middle East. We go to Israel. We go to Abu Dhabi. United Arab Emirates. We go to Mexico. We go to South America. And these 1 week trips are just so fun. You barely sleep. It's like you sleep 4 hours a night because you're doing business visits and company visits all day long. You're meeting with government officials. And then at night, it's all this cultural stuff. People usually go early, they stay late, and you earn 4 units. You earn an entire elective in a very concentrated way. We were the inventors of those programs for part-time programs back in 2007. You have globally diverse classmates. I like to say it's the United Nations meets Hogwarts. That's my little phrase. In a typical FEMBA class, we have 30 different countries of birth. So we'll typically have 275, 300 students start the program, and we will have 30 companies of birth. So it's like the United Nations, and then the Hogwarts it's a community. And every time you turn around the corner, something magical is about to happen, right? So you're with this incredibly diverse set of fellow classmates, and you're going through this crazy, ridiculous experience. It's not quite as magical as Hogwarts, but it is magical. It's fun. It's challenging. It's hard. It stresses you out. It stretches you. It shows you what you're capable of. And the result of that in your career is magical. And that's what we were saying with some of those career outcomes. And it's a super flexible program. I've already said you can shorten it to 2 years. You can stretch it out to 4 years. You've got 3 or 4 different schedule choices for your first year. And then when you get to electives, you have all types of choices. So those are 4 of the highlights of FEMBA. And this is just a little bit of a deep dive about the curriculum. So it's a 2.5-year program. I've listed 3 years here. These are the core classes. So the summer, at the end of summer, your first year, we have an intensive week called Leadership Foundations. It's the week before Labor Day weekend. Super fun. You take a week off work. Everybody's here together for a week. It's another one. It's like the global immersion. Nobody sleeps. Everybody stays up all night. If you're out of area, you get a hotel for the week, or you couch surf with people, your new best friends. Fall quarter, then we take the first 2 classes, data and decisions and organizational behavior. So we got a quantitative and a qualitative. Winter quarter, we take accounting and economics. Spring quarter, we take finance and marketing. I'll come back to the summer. And then the fall of your second year, you take operations and strategy. So all these blue courses, these are the courses everyone takes. Okay. And then at the summer and fall out of year 2 and into year 3, that's when you do the 6-month field study. So either the Global Access Program or the Business Creation Option. We even have a third one that's ASAM, which is the Anderson Student Asset Management. So that's if you're into investing in things. So that's the core classes. So now watch how this gets even more complicated. So 44 units are core, 36 units are elective. So there's 20 classes altogether, 11 are core and 9 are elective. So you get to customize 45% of the degree. So the electives happen the summer after your first year, winter and spring of your second year, and then you can take an elective in the summer and an elective in the fall. And that little vertical elective, that's one of the block ones. That's one that's just a week long. So that's pretty flexible, but there's more. If you want to stretch the program out, like maybe you're tired after your first year and say, whoa, that was a lot. I think I just want my summer free. You don't have to take electives the first summer. You could take electives in winter of your third year. Or if you want to try something different, maybe I don't want to take an elective the first half of the field study. So same thing, I'll cancel the block elective. I'll cancel that second summer elective, those 2 new red X's, and I'll take classes in the spring quarter. And I'll just take 3 years to do the program. Alternately, you can also do the global immersions I talked about. My trip to India, China, you can go all over the world, and you have all of the breaks. So spring break, fall break, winter break, and summer break of the second half of your program. So we say this is the most flexible part-time program you can find anywhere. It's kind of hard to measure flexibility, but we know that we give you tremendous choice. And all kinds of things happen. People get promoted. You could take a leave of absence. Oh my God, I got to go to a different country to be on this great team. It's a once in a lifetime career opportunity. Families happen. People, you know, oh my God, we're pregnant. We were going to do this later, but it's happening now. So you can take a leave of absence for a quarter, 2 quarters, up to a year. So the program is tremendously, tremendously flexible because, like I said, our average student is 30, 31 plus or minus. We know there's a lot of life happening. Like those are really, really important years in your career. And we want you to get the same education, the same network, the same experience while you keep your job. So that's why we have flexibility just baked into the program. You join our global network. I said 540,000 UCLA alumni. We're one of the top 5 American alumni networks. 41,000 of those are Anderson alumni and 7,000 of those are fully employed MBA alumni, but they're all UCLA. So now I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to share a word from our sponsor. So I'm going to show you a 1-minute video, and everybody in this video was a student in FEMBA a decade ago. And I'm going to show you this video just because it's funny. They made this. We had a student video competition. It's just a minute long. And then I want to tell you where they are now, a decade after. These were all people from back in 2011 who were, I'm sorry, no, it's even sooner than that. This is only 7 years ago. These are actually not from 2011. These are from the class of 2014. Okay, so let me stop for a second. And then I want to share the video, which is right here.
Cats climb trees just to be rescued by him. Goals orient towards him. He once donated blood to save the life of the party.
Это не сработает. Я не понимаю, о чем ты говоришь.
이것은 거래가 안 되겠네요. We need to have a better plan.
И твой босс тоже не понимает, что он делает. 一定不对的。
He's the language of business.
Deal.
He is the most interesting MBA in the world.
Never considered an MBA, but when I did, I preferred UCLA Anderson. Stay educated, my friends.
All right. I'll turn that.
One of the great challenges.
Oh my God, then YouTube just wants to sell me something. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that. I just think it's fun. And what I want to show you now is a little bit like, where are they now? Okay. Oh no, it's going to play. Don't play. I don't want to do that. Stop. What am I doing wrong? I've got myself too complicated. Okay, here we go. So
Cats climb.
Stop. Sorry for that. Technical issues on my side. So Anastasia Ali, you actually don't see Anastasia. She was the director and producer of the video. She's now a vice president of marketing at Disney. Melissa was the woman with the kind of curly brunette blonde hair. She's a business manager at Dole. Ryan Gooderson is the most interesting MBA. So he was the guy in the shorts kicking the soccer ball. He's now a director, HR business partner at PayPal. Timothy Huey was one of the bouncers. He's a senior program manager at Google. Kwa Lee was the guy playing the guitar. He was senior director of product management for Salesforce. Diana Moore was the woman who said, we got to get a better plan. She was actually an executive MBA who just wanted to have fun with the networking. And she runs her own health. It's like a yoga for women. It's kind of a specialized health club. And she's a managing partner called Empower House Fitness. Dania Shaheen Guterson is a data venture development manager at Bain & Company. And when Dania began the program, her name was Dania Shaheen. Her name is now Dania Shaheen Guterson. So she and Ryan actually got married the year after the program. So she transformed her career and he transformed his career and they transformed their personal life. So she was one of the people, she was behind in the last scene, one of the fawning people. Linda is a senior manager, product management, American Express. Ksenia Udina is a really cool female entrepreneur. She's the founder and CEO of UNest. So it's kind of a women-centric investment house that really helps female-owned businesses get off the ground. and she's won, I think, top 40 under 40 in several different lists. And then Rose is a global tech partner at Google. So the point is that all these people are doing really cool stuff just 7 years after they got done with their MBA. And I told you those salary stats during school, 49%, 55%. We've also talked to alumni 5 to 8 years after. And usually people have doubled their salary plus 5 to 8 years after. And if you look up any of these people, you can take a quick picture of these names and look them up on YouTube. If you go back to 2014, when they, not YouTube, LinkedIn, if you go back to 2014 and looked at where they were while they were in the program, you can see the upward progress of their careers in the 7 years since they graduated, from 2017 to 2011 to 2021. Oh my God, I'm tired. I can't do webinars at night. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. So you guys are getting me at the end of my day. So for you, right? Why should I do FEMBA? That's the name of tonight. It's like about a 1,000-day journey. If you count right now, the discovery phase, should I go to grad school? Should I go to USC? Should I go to Berkeley? Should I go to UCLA? Should I be full-time, part-time, executive? If you include the preparation with the actual experience, it's about a 1,000-day journey, plus or minus. And if you just think about incremental improvement, if I get 0.1% better at anything, you know, if I get 0.1% better every day for 1,000 days, I'm going to be 100% better. And that does not account for compounding. So this really is a perfect time to be having this conversation tonight. Like right before the holidays, talk to your mom, talk to your dad, talk to your brother, talk to your best friends, you know, all those cool conversations you get to have over the holidays. Like, I think I want to do this, but it's like $100,000. It's 15 to 25 hours. I'm going to be so busy. I don't know if I can do it. I may have imposter syndrome. You know, like, let your board of directors, let your trusted advisors get up under you. You know, ask some new questions like, well, what would it open up if I was educated by those faculty? What would it open up if I added all those type of classmates to my professional network? What would it open up if I got the confidence that comes with getting an MBA? So, you know, a 0.1% improvement times 1,000 days, you can double your productivity and then some, right? You can reinvent who you know yourself to be in your career. So the name of tonight is Why FEMBA. And if you're trying to ask yourself, should I do the part-time or should I do full-time? Now or later, an MBA or a law degree or a medical degree or a master's in public health, right? So much choice. This is a shortcut for why people typically do FEMBA. It's not a recipe that fits every case. Your situation can be very different. There's lots of reasons to do FEMBA, but ask yourself these questions. Do I like my job? So just say yes or no in my mind. I like it, I don't like it, or at least I can tolerate it. Do I like my boss? I like them, I don't like them, I can tolerate them, you know, trending positive, slightly negative, you know, okay. Do you like real-time results? This is a program for people who love action, because you're going to go to class on Saturday and you're going to use it on Monday. You're going to go to class Tuesday night and you're going to use it Wednesday morning. You'll be in a staff meeting and your hand will go up and you'll look at your hand and go, oh my God, where did you come from? You know, you'll get confidence to raise your hand and volunteer for stuff because you'll be hearing things in school that are like exciting that you want to practice and you want to try out. You do not get a 49% raise in 3 years doing what you did at the start of the program. You will reinvent yourself. If you just need a 10% raise, just be nice to your boss. Remember their birthday, right? Volunteer for stuff. Like, it's easy to get a 10% raise. Any of us can do that by just out hustling other people. But if you want to transform your career, that's a different level, right? That's a big investment. So do I like real-time results? And do I want an MBA? And do I want an MBA from UCLA? Right? If 2 or 3 of those are yes, or especially if all 4 of those are yes, that's what FEMBA is for, right? We're designed to let you keep your job, keep your boss, create incredible energy and real-time results, get your MBA from UCLA. You get the same education, you get the same peer network, and you get the same an alumni network, and you get the same experience. all while you keep your job. Okay. So, just let that rattle around for the presentation tonight. So, and, oh, excuse me. Now we're going to do breakout number 2. Chris, I gave you no lead time, but I know you are young and smart and digitally savvy. So I will just tap dance for just a second until you give me a high sign that you're good. Okay, he's good. I love it. Thank you, Chris. So, why FEMBA? So same thing. You're going to be, we're sending them to new rooms, Chris. Okay, so you're going to get to meet some new people. So same kind of thing. Quick introduction. We're going to groups of 3, 6 minutes, so 2 minutes each. Introduce yourself newly. You might get a repeat, but hopefully you'll be with new people. And then, why are you thinking about this as the way you want to go? All right. So enjoy this new round, and we will see you back in 6 minutes. What it is. All right, about 20 seconds, we'll bring everyone back. Thank you guys for bearing with us, and I hope you enjoyed the 3 different rotations. Met some new friends tonight, or at least some interesting people. All right, I think that's about everyone back. So welcome back. Just to put it back up there, these are the deadlines, January 11 or April 5th, the corresponding Super Saturday interview day of either January 22nd or April 16. If you apply in the winter, you'll get a decision no later than March 24th. If you apply in the spring, you'll get a decision no later than June 24th. So that I will stop sharing. And so what we'll do now is just use the raise hand feature or just wave at me. This was hopefully a useful overview. And the point of tonight is, for yourself, like, I'm always trying to sell UCLA, but UCLA pretty much, UCLA totally sells itself, but it's more like, with my situation right now, where could I go and how would this help me get there? So yeah, Charles.
Hello.
Hi. And please, just real quick, like maybe, a couple things about you to help me understand a little bit where you're coming from.
Oh, absolutely. I was just in a breakout room talking to 2 of my fellow applicants. I'm working for Amazon a little bit over 6.5 years. I'm currently an academy instructor. Pretty much all the new managers go through a 8-week curriculum before they working at the Amazon delivery station as a logistic manager. So my motivation is I really got sick of doing the same thing. I really want to achieve financial freedom. I'm being straight honest. I don't want to be an employee of a big corporate company anymore. I want to evolve it into the next level. I want to be an entrepreneur. Even though I don't have a brilliant idea yet, but the example that you just showed me really inspired me, like having the clutter idea. I want to be, that's kind of like the route I visualize myself to be in the future. So to get this started, I think what's really stopping me right now is I believe a majority of us, we already been working in the field instead of being an academic student. My biggest concern is how to get is to prepare for the GMAT. I think the average score is above 706, and also the application process. I think this is biggest challenge to prepare for the GMAT. Really got to invest a lot of time to get to that score. I think that's probably one of the most essential requirement to get admitted to this program.
Well, no, okay, a couple things on that, Charles. Thank you for getting us started. I appreciate it. And that's great. You got a good thing started at Amazon, which is a destination company for many people, but you've got entrepreneurial aspirations. But now it's kind of like, oh no, the barrier of the GMAT. So we'll take the GMAT or the GRE. We'll take either test. Our average is about 675. So it's not as high as the daytime. The daytime program is like 720 or something. So you don't have to get a 700. We will accept the GMAT or the GRE. If you have over 8 years of work experience, we'll take the executive assessment. And the best way to prepare for it, Charles, is like, you know, if you're going to get an MBA, you're going to spend about 15 to 20 hours a week doing school. So give yourself a month and just let the GMAT or the GRE preparation be a little bit like preparing to get ready to go back to school. You don't have to have a 99th percentile score. If your undergrad grades are good, if you're working for a good company, right? It's one of 3 data points, right? That are you need 2 of the 3 data points to be at the average or better. So our average is about a 675, 680 GMAT, about a 3.4 GPA, and about 5 to 7 years of work experience. That's just an average. So if 1 or 2 of your attributes are above average, you're trending in. And, you know, so take it seriously. If you've been out of school 5 or 10 years, you know, you haven't taken a standardized test for a while, let the preparation be part of getting yourself ready. Don't stress on it. In the full-time program, the GMAT is much more important because people don't have jobs. They're going to quit their jobs. In a working professional, FEMBA or executive MBA, the test score is important, but it's not as important. So that's my high-level advice on that. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on consultants. Take the practice exams, get a book or 2, you know, give it a few weeks, a month, 6 weeks of good, solid effort, get a score that you can live with, and then move on. Okay. Good first question. Who's next? Devon Reisenbeck?
Yeah, it's Devin. Thanks.
Hi, Devin.
Yeah, so my question was, could you give a little bit more information on the elective choosing process? What are our options? Is it tied to specializations in any way?
Excellent. Okay, thanks. And what do you do, Devin? Where are you?
Yeah, so I work for Finder.com. It's actually an Australian-based fintech. They're a financial comparison website, but they are growing in the US, and I work in the people and culture department, which is essentially HR.
I'm sorry.
Just rebranded.
Isn't she just a total commercial for the kind of cool people you would meet at UCLA? Like that's, you just said like 2 sentences of really cool stuff, none of which I've ever heard of before. You know, like at some level, I don't know Finder.com. I don't exactly know, but it all made sense when you said it. And that's just a great example of how it is to hang out at UCLA. So thank you for that. And Charles, yours is great too. It's just Amazon's a little bit more of a known commodity, right? So your question, and was it Devin or?
Devin.
Yeah. Okay. So electives. So all basic top schools use a point system to allocate electives. So you get these imaginary points, and there are chapters where you do bidding. And if there's a class you're just dying to have, you put a bunch of points on that. And then, you know, I hopefully will get my second choice, but if not, I've got a couple second choices, but I used all my points to guarantee I got my favorite class. So it's just it's a simple bidding system. You can choose by faculty, you can choose by schedule. Yeah, we have about 15 different specializations you can pursue. Most specializations require about 4 classes. So electives are 100% tied to specializations. You don't have to get a specialization. Some people don't even care. Other people, it's a really important thing. Specializations tend to be more important to our daytime students because they use them to, when they're switching to a new industry and they don't have any experience in that new world, you know, that, oh, I want to get into real estate, but I have not yet worked in real estate. So I'll get a specialization in real estate, which helps a recruiter know how serious I am about it. For FEMBA, specializations are more like a nice to have, you know, more for personal bragging rights, but they're very much available. So did that answer the question?
Yeah, no, that was very helpful. Thank you.
And another thing, the electives are 0% connected to the schedule you had during core. So when you get admitted to the program, you choose either the all-day Saturday, we have the all-day Saturday choice, we have the Tuesday night, Thursday night choice, or we have the hybrid choice where you come once every 3 weekends. And we probably will have a blended Saturday, which is Saturday, but half in person, half on Zoom. So there'll be 4 different choices after you're admitted, and you choose one of those schedules for the core classes. But then when you get to electives, you can take any schedule you want. You can take electives with the executive MBA. If you live within LA County, you can actually take electives with the daytime students too. So electives are part and parcel to the flexibility of the program. And again, there are 20 courses total, 9 of which are elective. You can also take 2 of the electives outside of Anderson. So you could go to the law school, you could go to theater, film, and television, engineering, medicine, like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's super helpful. Thank you.
Pleasure, pleasure. All right, Rebecca, you're next.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
My question is
Oh, wait,
about.
a quick thumbnail about you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No,
My name is Rebecca. I work in consulting. I've done mostly project management, consultant, continuous process improvement, things like that. Hoping to move into a larger firm and transition more towards strategic management consulting, overall strategy work. That's what
excellent.
I'd like to do with my MBA. I currently live in Minnesota, so that's my question.
Oh, okay.
Is there a certain percentage of students that do relocate for the program? And if so, is there, I guess, is there any support or direction that UCLA Anderson can provide to those of us who would plan to move?
Sure. Well, with the hybrid schedule option, we do have out-of-state students who actually don't move. They commute from Houston and Washington, D.C. We've got a great third-year student who's commuted from Boston the whole time. So with the come every 3 weekend schedule, there's the possibility to do that. Sorry, the screen moved around. You went over here. Hi, Rebecca. No, it's not your fault. It's Zoom. If you move to LA, when you say resources, we don't really help with housing in FEMBA because the majority of our students are already established, but the just kind of informal network of your classmates in terms of, I mean, LA is like 100 different choices of different types of living. You can be close to the beach, you can be downtown, you can go Orange County, you can go in the Valley, you can be in Westwood proper. So there would be a lot of people you could talk to just to help figure out things like that from that point of view. But you'd be on your own to get your apartment if you chose to come back, if you chose to not come back, but to relocate out here.
Sure. Okay.
Does that, yeah. And with the hybrid option, you could give yourself some flexibility. Like maybe, you're just going to come the summer before and set up shop. Great. But then your plans change. You need a little bit longer. So you could fly back and forth from Minnesota while you were wrapping up that and creating your next chapter. So again, we try to help you in terms of being as flexible as we can. And we don't have the type of apartment hunting support that a daytime program has, where everybody's moving here from another city.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Rebecca. Felix.
Hey, Dylan. Thanks for this event. Very helpful. I currently work at DirecTV in their corporate finance team. And the question is, I know you briefly touched on it, but maybe you can elaborate on what options are available for those who are maybe planning to switch jobs while in the program. Like, will we have access to same career fair events as full-time students, or is it going to be different?
Yes, 100%. You have access to the resources of the Parker Career Management Center, which is the center that works with facilitating the recruitment for our daytime students. So you have access to the Parker Career Management Center, and above and beyond that, you have our dedicated FEMBA Career Services team. So the way we help you switch into something new and different is to bring recruiters on campus, facilitate your own professional networking. There's a way to network as an MBA. It was a little bit that example I gave earlier with Coleman and Elliot, I believe it was, like we help you get good at networking, get your elevator pitch, get your resume, get your LinkedIn profile all shiny so that people are finding you. Like we help you with all of those composite pieces of executing a killer career switch, right? Doing your own personal marketing plan. What am I interested in? How do I, what are my top 3 attributes that I bring to the party? What are companies who have the top 3 characteristics that I'm looking for? Again, that ikigai, what am I good at? What's the world have to offer? What do they want to pay for? Right? Like what's the intersection in the middle of what I'm good at, what I want to do, and what the world wants to pay for? So you spend, we want you to have all of the career navigation confidence and competence that you would have gotten had you been in our full-time program while you're keeping your job. And it's different because if you're at Boeing and you know you're going to be at Boeing for life, there'll be some of our career services that you will not use so much because you're not trying to switch to a new company. You just want to enhance at Boeing. But even there, our career coaches can help internal marketing to position yourself for a great internal promotion. Because, a big company like Boeing, it's, how do you stand out when there's thousands and thousands of people here? So yes, it's the short answer is the FEMBA Career Services team will guide you in your journey to switch and to create a new opportunity with a new company.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Felix. John, I think you said hi a little while ago. Hi.
Yes, correct. Hi. Good evening, everyone. My name is John Bandek. I'm an economic development professional in local government. I'm responsible for business attraction and retention at the city of Glendale, which is here in Los Angeles. My question is about the average work experience. I see that the average work experience is 7 years for the FEMBA class, for this last FEMBA class. Does this figure include work experience that was accumulated during undergrad, or is it only post-undergrad?
That is mostly post-undergrad. So internships and things like that, it's since I graduated college is what that reflects. So the minimum that my team, when we read applications that we're looking for is 3 years. Now and again, we'll champion for someone who only has 2 years of work experience if they had a lot of internships, or maybe they were student body president, or they had extenuating life circumstances. But typically people who start the program are about 25 and older, but there's not an actual required minimum. We have the ability. I did admit somebody who, is one of those guys who he skipped college and went straight to med school. So he was only 22 when he started the program, but he was already a working radiologist. And then he went on to be a really successful entrepreneur. So when did you graduate, John?
I graduated this past summer, but I have around 6 years of work experience, even at the management level.
Okay. Well, we won't get into your personal stuff right here, but if you apply, we will read your application. And if you make it, you make it. And if you're close, but not quite, then we also have consultations over the summer where we say, you're perfect, but just, come back next year. So that can happen also. But if you've got 6 years total work experience, even if it's not just after undergrad, go ahead and apply. You don't know, it's $200. It's not, a ton of money. It's not free, but it's also, if this is the year and you've got a good story, tell us your story. Okay. So, but no, I was the second youngest guy in Chicago, so I'm always pro young. And, I wish I had waited a little bit, but that's just me, right? Okay. I didn't already have a cool job with the city of Glendale, so if you got a good thing going and you got a good story, tell us your story.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure, John. Hi, Victoria.
Hi. Thank you so much. This was super informative. I'm so glad I was here.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I went to UCLA undergrad, go Bruins, studied communications, and then I minored in film and TV. When I graduated, I worked as an actor and in commercials and songwriting and as a freelance writer. Then was connected to Dr. Sheldon Jordan, who is a neurologist affiliated at UCLA, studied at UCLA. I helped him write his book, and then now I work for him full-time, doing targeted regenerative therapy research for the brain. Very random story. And
that's a great UCLA story. I love it. Yes.
Yeah, it's funny, as I was thinking when you were going through the prompts, when I went into UCLA, I had a very specific idea, but what I loved so much about UCLA is I took the solar systems class. I took all the stuff I never thought I would need, and those were my biggest memories. And it also led me not where I thought I was going to go, but somewhere better. So I'm really passionate. I love UCLA. I live down the street in Brentwood. But anyway, I am working now in kind of this regenerative research biotech space, and I'm feeling like there's a lot of holes in just a lot of the business, how to bring some of these science ideas and the research. There's a big need for people who understand business to move a lot of these things forward. And I feel like I'm creative and I can Google things, but there's just a whole other level of knowledge I need to up level. I guess I have two questions. One, I just want to clarify, is it a hybrid model of virtual and in person, or are some things definitely in person, especially I think it's like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays?
Sure. So with the schedules for the first year, Saturday is 100% on campus.
Okay,
You know, you come 10 Saturdays in a row. Tuesday, Thursday is 100% on campus. One class Tuesday night, second class Thursday night.
Mhm.
And then hybrid is 50% asynchronous pre-recorded. So you watch videos at your own timing,
Mhm.
and then three synchronous weekends. So you take 6 hours of class on Saturday for your first class, and then 6 hours of class on Sunday for your second class. And then the fourth choice that we're going to offer is called blended Saturday. So it's 10 Saturdays, every other one on campus, the other one synchronous on Zoom.
Okay. And if you apply in the third round, you might not get to pick which one of those.
Yes, because and we never know which one's going to be more popular. For a couple of years, Tuesday, Thursday sold out. Then last year, hybrid sold out. You know, we just never can tell.
Okay, cool. My main question though is you mentioned briefly the 25% of the people do this kind of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, the business creation option.
Yes. Can you,
Yes.
so is that like you create a business plan for your own business and then you like have a team helping you, giving you feedback? Like, do people actually take their business plan and make it a business? Are you bouncing off of peers? Is this like professors helping you with this business plan?
Yes, 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 and yes.
Okay.
So it is a structured business development curriculum. It is a team environment. You can be the team lead, so people are working on your idea. You can join somebody else's team where you're supporting them develop their idea. So it can be, you know, it can go lots of different ways. You're totally sharing with your peers.
Mhm.
You also have a faculty advisor. We work with our venture accelerator. So the basement of the Rosenfeld Library is now our interdisciplinary venture accelerator. So it's hosted at Anderson, but it has law students and theater, film, and television students and medical students and engineering for sure. So we have a whole ecosystem, and it's all in partnership with UCLA Startup, also the campus-wide entrepreneurial endeavor. So, you know, we like to say entrepreneurship is in the water, right? It's just, we are a West Coast, big city, international, high tech, high growth. Like there's just everything about UCLA, Los Angeles, California, that, you know, nobody has just one job in LA. It's too expensive to have just one job, right? Everybody's hyphenated, you know, and I got my side hustle. I'm also doing this over there. So that's just, you know, if you go to school in Oklahoma City, it's not like that, right? You can have one job and raise a family and have a 5,000 square foot house in middle America, but you can't do that on the West Coast. So, you know, schools take on the personality of their geography. So even your experience of, you know, these classes, I didn't think, you know, solar system and this and that, but it led me to, you know, they're my favorite memories, and it led me to all these paths that I couldn't even envision for myself, right? Grad school is just an extension of that. And when you say upline, or would you say up level, right?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's, you're going to up your game. You're going to take a high trajectory life and make it a little bit higher. So sorry, that's kind of a high level answer, but these are, the business creation option is a legitimate introduction to, you know, it's one thing to have an idea. It's a whole other thing to analyze markets and vet your idea, and then get your idea up to a investment quality business plan. And about half of our teams last year did launch. You know, doesn't mean they stayed in business, but they got in business, right? And, you know, part of being an entrepreneur is becoming a serial entrepreneur. It's not just, I want to do it once, but it's learning the whole language of startup. So, you know, this is an introduction that could support your one and amazing right now idea, but it could also support you 10 years from now. You know, because many people just, my wife is an entrepreneur. She runs her own business. She's always developing new, she's a management consultant. You know, she's always developing new stuff, right? It's fun. And it's fun to be an entrepreneur also, where, you know, I actually like working for a big company, but I like to be a change agent within. So Anderson can prepare you for all that. I realize I've gone over time. So officially, I know some people are just listening. It's totally great if you want to keep listening. We're not, I'll keep going. I'll probably have to stop about 8 or so. But if you know, we're just being polite and you wanted to wait till the official end, it's officially 7:30. Thank you for your attention. I'll try to get a PDF. Let me make a note to myself. I'll check with my team. Chris, if you can remind me, we will send a PDF, everybody who came tonight, of my deck. And I will put the bonus slides in that have the links to the different podcasts that I mentioned, stuff like that. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure, Victoria, and welcome back, Double Bruin. So we're officially done. I'll keep answering the hands that are waved. I see there are questions in the chat. There's just one of me. So Callie, we'll keep going.
Hi there. Yes, Kaylee, actually.
Kaylee, my apology. Hi, Kaylee.
No worries. So I oversee project and account management for a sports startup that specializes in the sponsorship space. I have a couple questions, if I may. I think one might be quick. I'd love to hear a little bit more about what that super interview Saturday looks like, if I got that right.
Yes, we call it Super Saturday. It is a walk through your resume with a current or an alumni volunteer over Zoom.
Okay.
So they do not know your GMAT. They've not seen your transcripts. They've not read your essay. So it's kind of a double blind. They do not see your application. They are a volunteer for that day, trained by us. And they are listening sort of for 3 levels. Gosh, this person would be a great Bruin. Gosh, this person would be a great fully employed MBA student. And then, that's kind of big picture, middle picture. And then, gosh, I'd love it if I was on a study group with this person. Kaylee is really cool. I would learn so much from her. Right. And they're going to ask you about 5 questions in a half an hour. They're going to walk, all they see is your resume and you. And it's really, it's just, who are you? Why do you want an MBA? Why do you want to keep your job? Why do you like UCLA? Where do you want to go? How are we going to help you get there? It's no trick questions, and it's just half an hour, but we've been doing this for 17 years. We've conducted over 8,000 interviews with over 2,300 volunteers, and it gets weighted like a 3rd letter of recommendation.
Okay, that's helpful.
It just mostly you're already trending in and it confirms it, or sometimes people are trending out and it confirms that too. But yeah, it's a chance, and it's also one last chance for you to ask questions, in an easy way. But it's not an information session. Right. The idea is that you've already been on our website. You've come to events like this. So you've got most of your questions answered. Now they get to meet you face to face because, 2-dimensional digital application is fine. But, there's a real human being. There's Kaylee, look at her smile. Right. Like humans like to talk to other humans. And we think it helps us. We think it helps us build a better student body.
Awesome. Well, that pairs well with my second question. Is there a way you'd recommend structuring a resume for an MBA application versus a traditional maybe job application?
Not much different. One page is great. We're not looking for a scientific CV, 20 pages long. If you've been working more than a decade, you can go to 2 pages, but the vast majority of people, 1 page. It's not a list of everything you've done. Right? It's a highlight of the things that you want to make sure that we know about. So you want your reverse chronological work history. You want your educational history, hobbies, clubs. That's a great way to add a little flavor. If there's a couple things that, are passions of yours, it's one more chance to have that stand out. There's the extracurricular activity part of the application. There are your 2 essay questions. So, no typos, action verbs. But it doesn't have to be a perfect MBA ready to go interview resume. It's a good 1 sheet of your education experience and a little bit about your personality, right? We're not looking for robots. We're looking for real human beings. So, just share it with a couple friends who work at your level or higher. You can also share it with your recommenders. When you ask your recommenders, we always suggest you need 2 professional recommendations. If you can, ask them in person. It may not be in the same room. It might be on Zoom, but don't ask by email. You're looking for 2 people who are above you in their career. They've got more work experience than you. They're fans of you. They believe in you, and they're willing to take about 30 minutes to fill in some boxes. It's very easy for them. But you can give them a copy of your resume. Hey, here's the resume that I'm planning. And it kind of reminds them of like, oh yeah, I forgot when we hired Kaylee that she did all these undergraduate volunteer things. That's so cool to see that again, right? Like you're just reminding people, oh yeah, Kaylee, yeah, she's a hypo. She's got that high potential thing. She's got that high trajectory. Yeah, we should put her on our list for next year kind of stuff when we start doing the HR planning, right? You like, it's all just, right? It's how to step forward in our career, how to raise our hand like that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I have to add, I went to Michigan undergrad, so we like to compete against UCLA for #1 public university.
That's right. You guys have held that for many. Yes. Yeah. Well, I went to Texas A&M, so I'm a big fan of state schools, right? I think it's part of what makes America great. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much, Dylan.
Thanks, Kaylee. Nice to meet you. Hi, Alec.
Hi. So I did my undergrad at USC.
Very good. Welcome.
Anyway,
Fight on.
All right, fight on. Anyway, I'm now the communications director for a state assembly member, and I've done a lot of work in the nonprofit space and public-private sector partnerships, and now looking to transition into social impact entrepreneurship. Anderson, literally looking at maybe working at a place like X Prize after graduation in their marketing or fundraising areas, and I'm looking at a lot of the clubs on campus like Net Impact and out at Anderson, and being a FEMBA, which I 100% set on doing, not the day one. I want to check about the best way to maybe balance the extracurriculars with the work and also the classes.
Well, that's the big $1 million question for everybody, and everybody's situation is different. About a third of our students are married. About 2/3 of our students are not married, not in a committed relationship. Of the married students, probably half of them have children. So, we have a very diverse student body, and you got to wrestle with your own personal calculus of where am I going to spend my time? And we all have the same 168 hours in our week, right? We have the same number of hours in our week that Da Vinci had in his, right? And that Oprah has in hers, right? Amazing people squeeze more out of their time. So if you're in the full-time program, you probably do 3 or 4 clubs because you're going to use it to bolster your resume. If you're in the part-time program, you maybe do 1 or 2 clubs, but you get 2.5 years instead of 2. So you can map it out a little bit differently. The clubs, in the sense of you don't have to do them all at once. You could spread them out. You could do 2 clubs your first year, 2 different clubs your second year. The clubs are in 3 different categories. There are professional clubs, which are just, flat out about getting jobs. So there's finance, and there's real estate, and there's entrepreneurship. Then there are identity clubs, or, like background. So we have a women's business connection, Jewish business connection, Southeast Asian, right? I think there's a Mormon group, there's a Christian group. So we have, kind of common interest, common identity, common background as the second category. And then the third category are just social, right? So there's a wine and cheese club. I think there's a couple of different eating and drinking clubs. There's a tennis club. There's a surfing club, and now if you're a FEMBA, which side of town do you live on? How many hours in the day, right? You can't do everything, but the clubs exist to create additional ways to meet people in those 3 arenas: professionally, shared background, common interest, or just flat out social. So I'm not sure if I answered your question.
No, but it's good. About try for 1 to 2.
Yeah, I think 1 to 2 is practical. But again, if you're single, if you live on the West Side, if you do the Tuesday, Thursday schedule, if you have flexible work hours, which we all do right now. So don't let me limit you either. That radiologist I talked about, his name is Jeff Chang, and he's the guy who started FEMBA when he was 22. He wanted to test out all the professional clubs, and he joined all the professional clubs. And that's ridiculous. And he's the only person I ever knew who did that. But he was kind of a ridiculous kind of guy. He was, he skipped college and went straight to med school. So, but for mere mortals, for us normal people, you still want to get some sleep, and, you want to kind of balance. But the clubs are run like professional organizations. You pay dues, you get on the mailing list. each club kind of has one or two things they do during the course of the year that are their kind of signatures. So they're fun. They're about 50 different clubs to choose from. And some of them have a lot more FEMBAs and some of them are more daytime centric. But as a FEMBA, you know, you bring something interesting to the party. It's back to that thing about you have a job. And all those daytime students are looking for a job. So, you know, you have a little something to bring to the party. Your network, you know, your going network is something that they might be interested in tapping into.
All right. Well, thank you. That makes a lot of sense.
All right. And thank you. And yeah, and you know, our number one undergrad every year is UCLA, but 2 and 3, we go back, it's either USC or Berkeley. You know, those are the most represented, the top 3 undergrads. So you will not be the only Trojan at all. And it's not a bad thing to have both networks. So, you know, a little plug for that. We actually had our dean that Bruce Willison was our dean 3 deans back. And he was UCLA undergrad and Marshall for his MBA. And then he'd been a president of a bank. So we even had a dean who was like both schools. So it was fun. So, all right, Gaurav, I think you're next.
Yeah, thanks. A little bit about myself. I'm a licensed professional engineer. Graduated from Texas A&M in 2000. Yeah, I moved from Houston after working in about 8 years in structural consulting to a structural R&D manufacturing company here in Southern California, Simpson Strong-Tie. I work there as a branch engineer, but we do have an option to grow myself as a product manager in one of the product that we R&D. There are several, but there's an option. So that's why I'm basically looking to enhance my career and getting to this FEMBA. Our company also offered to kind of do moonlighting. So having your own consulting business is also an option.
Nice.
So that's where I'm coming from. Mine is a very simple question, probably. You mentioned April 5th is a round 3rd deadline for fall of 22. At this age, and at this stage, basically, is it too late to go for hit April 5th, considering most of the applicants are, or the pool is filled in round 1 and round 2?
No, we are the opposite of the daytime program. The daytime program gets most of their applications in the fall. All daytime programs do, because people are they're gonna relocate. So they need a decision earlier. The part-time and the executive MBA application volume is backloaded. So round 3 is our largest round.
Okay, so meaning you still have room to be filled, right? Because one of the responses you had before was like one of the full day Saturday. That's what I'm considering myself into, and wanted to see if, you know, and I totally understand that there will be candidates before me who might prefer the same one, and I don't want to get like left out just because I applied in round 3 and wanted to push it out. So
we're very scalable. We're, as far as we know, we're the only top part-time MBA program that gives 100% of the people who apply the chance to interview. We're very proud of that. We think it's very much part of the brand of being, you know, we are University of California, Los Angeles. We're built by the taxpayers of our state and society, and we want to be a ladder of access to everybody. So we allow everybody who applies the chance to have that interview. So you will get to interview.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and just a following question. Are the financial aid and the scholarship, I mean, I do have my friends already said, but it's always better to ask, like the financial aids or the scholarship, is that pretty common for the part-timers?
No, it's not. No, most of our money goes to the students who are going to give up their jobs for 2 years. So we have a modest budget. We're able to give a slightly less than 1 out of 5 people. Our merit fellowships are about $30,000, and the program is about $132,000 total.
Right.
So,
like I said, I do have my funds reserved, but it's always good to ask. And do you guys need like a special application for that? Or
no, we look at it. It's based on test score and undergraduate prior education.
Okay, cool. I think you answered my question. Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right.
Nice to meet a fellow Aggie, Gaurav.
Nice. Yeah, thanks.
Glad you're
You too.
looking at it. Hi, Sagar. I think you're, or I may not be pronouncing it. Sagar or Sagar?
Hi, it's Sagar.
Sagar, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thank you for the intro session. It was really helpful. So I noticed like one of the things you had mentioned was about like trying to get used to what a full-time or what a part-time like school and work schedule would be like by like starting to study now. I actually wanted to ask, when you see students in the program itself, what do you see them like struggle with the most, and how could we as applicants better prepare ourselves for that now?
Time management. You know, I do academic probation counseling, and you know, the metaphor I use is you got to be ready for a flat tire, right? The people I counsel on academic probation, you know, I counsel people with 700 GMATs and 3.5 undergrad GPAs, but like, oh, I hurt my shoulder and I had to have an unexpected surgery and it really just messed it up and it was hard to type. Or I got a promotion at work, or I had a little bit of marital kind of stuff, or, you know, I got a bad boss kind of chapter at work, right? It's mostly just, there's an adjustment to get, you know, an object in motion stays in motion, right? You get in motion, and we make a big deal about your study group. And this is not an individual contributor master's degree, right? This is not a specialized degree where I sit and run problem sets by myself in isolation for 2.5 years. This is a degree in management. So we are always putting you in groups. That's why you did 3 groups tonight, right? And it's like, well, I like the first group. Why do you put me in another group? And that's the way your MBA will be. You're just always in another group, always in another group, because that's the way managers, directors, that's the way people who lead big corporate lives, that's how their lives go. They're just busy all the time. And they learn how to forming, storming, norming, performing, right? They learn how to do the human dynamics of coming together, getting a baseline of relatedness, establishing a common North Star, pulling and pushing and getting alignment towards that goal, you know, setting milestones, achieving milestones, adjusting, tweaking, getting to the finish line, declaring the project complete, shaking hands, parting ways, but remembering each other for future projects. And it's different than the kind of friends I have in school. It's different than the kind of friends I have in church or in sports, right? Professional friendships they're different, right? There's a way to go about it. And you're pulling your own weight, but you're leaving 10% to help pull somebody else. And if they're leaving 10% to help pull you, that becomes my wife when she does management consulting. She always asks C-suite teams, okay, I get it. Everybody in the room is fancy. So are you a team of champions? Or are you a championship team? Right? So like the challenge where people break down, where they have a flat tire, is trying to do it on their own. You know, you should be practicing management while getting a management degree. And management, it's not about I'm the smartest guy in the room and I have all the answers all the time. Some of the very best leaders are the people who are humble enough to surround themselves with people who are smarter than they are, right? So, you know, my team is always getting mad at me because all these, if you listen to some of my podcasts, I'm always falling in love with these unicorns, right? I've interviewed 2 Olympic gold medalists who did FEMBA. You know, Maxine, you know, she was a professional dancer. She was on CeeLo's world tour and was on his Las Vegas touring company. And, you know, the other guy was a professional, Ben was a professional actor, and Derek was playing football in the NFL. And my team is always like, Dylan, you never talk about just regular people. You're always talking about these interesting, unique people. And I'm like, well, everybody's regular on the one hand, and everybody's unique on the one hand at the same time, right? But are we willing to, like, the game is me against me. Am I willing to challenge myself? But also it's me with we. right? Management is achieving things beyond what I personally can achieve with the time and talents of other great people. So, you know, it's like there was a person, I'll just say this all, you know, abstractly, but there was a person who was of a certain kind of heritage. You pick the stereotype. This person grew up outside of America from a heritage where, you know, doing well in school was required. This person had never made a not good grade. And this person was suffering silently because this person had made a bad grade. And when I was counseling with her, I said, well, who's your go-to person? And she said, it's my sister. And I said, well, what's your sister say about this? And she said, I haven't told her. I was like, well, no wonder this is killing you. Like, managers let themselves be sourced also. They don't just take care of other people. And so part of our plan was to talk to her professor, talk to the TA. Yeah. But also talk to her personal support network. You know, who are your first circle people of trust? Right? Because grad school, this person had a child, this person was a single parent. There was a lot going on, but this person also had a cultural expectation of always being an A student. So this person had to adjust their worldview a little bit, not to lower their standards. Standards were the same, but the actual execution at the moment was not meeting the standards. So let's build up a little support. And it was a bounce back, super great outcome story. Didn't take that long. But, you know, when I looked up the person's stats, I'm like, God, she was an easy admit. You know, she'd always done great in school. Had a really cool human interest story, you know, single parent, la. So those are the people that I see get tripped up. And I've come to realize that the commonality, we're good. Our admission decision process is pretty sound. We don't admit people who are academically not able to do the program. You know, there are people for whom UCLA is not the right fit, and those people don't get a seat. And, you know, the dean always says, we're not saying they don't get an MBA. We're just saying UCLA may not be their destination, right? We have the University of California. We have the California state system. You have a lot of choice, right? There are lots of places to earn an MBA, and this is not for everybody. So I hope that helps, Sagar. The fact that you're asking the question now is a good indication, right? It's if you come into this kind of confidently humble, you'll do great. You're right. That share success is a real deal. If you come into this like I'm too cool for school, not like you personally, but if a person comes into this like I'm too cool for school and I know this already and I could teach the classes, well, then it's kind of like, well, then why are you here? Right? You know, if your cup is already full, there's no room for new knowledge. So like a half full cup is a good thing. Like confident, proud of my education experience to date, but I'm paying damn good money to be around really amazing faculty and really cool classmates. And I want to learn as much as I share. You know, I want to give as much as I receive.
Thank you.
All right. Pleasure. Okay. I'm not going to pronounce it right. Leica.
Ah, you got it. You're right.
I know I said twice. I cheated. Which one is right?
It's Leica.
Leica. Okay. Nice to meet you. Hi. How are you tonight?
Me too. I'm good. How are you?
I'm well.
So just a little background on myself. I'm a computational neuroscientist in the Department of Psychiatry at in the School of Medicine at UC San Diego, and I'm NIH funded. And so I primarily run a research lab. I also own several unrelated small businesses and a private practice. And I'm currently kind of being groomed for administrative positions within academia.
Great.
The unfortunate thing is, which has worked with my small businesses, is that, you know, we're building the plane as it's flying. What will not work in, you know, a business model like academia is to do that as well. And so a lot of what I'm here to do to learn about is to get formal training in this. A lot of research scientists don't really have that background. So, and those are generally the people who are, you know, deans or provost and presidents, and a lot of the burnout comes from not knowing the financials of business. So That's why I'm here. I know you mentioned on several occasions other scientists or physicians who've kind of completed this program. And so I'm wondering what kind of courses, opportunities are available to kind of cater to folks with a background in medicine and more like academic positions like dean or, you know.
Sure. And let me see, where I lost my, oh, here we go. Let me share screen real quick. Because a couple of podcasts that I can point out. So I apologize. My podcasts are all over the world. They're not necessarily because I had a chapter where I only did audio. But if you go to UCLA Anderson Drive Time, and I'll put it in the chat, there's a couple that I can point in this, and I'm sharing this for everybody too. Let me put this in the chat. Oh my God, all these questions I haven't even gotten to. I'm so sorry. But if you, where did it go? What is this? No, I don't want 3 months for, how do I skip this? Okay, there we go. So let's see where, so this one here, JC Jimenez, he's a vascular surgeon, and Aviva Regev is a anesthesiologist. And this is a fun, they were in school at the same time, and they would actually meet in the OR now and again. And then I have Nassim. Where is Nassim? Well, Diego Benitez. He's a PhD in organic chemistry from Caltech. He's another cool unicorn. He's from Mexico originally. He came to Caltech for a summer visit during high school. And the dean said, have you ever thought about getting a PhD in organic chemistry? And he said, well, yeah, but I haven't gone to college yet. And the dean said, oh, I don't think you need to go to college. Let's go down and talk to the admission people. So he just skipped college and went straight to get his organic, his PhD in organic chemistry, and he founded a nanotech company. And now he is the founder and owner of a South El Monte's Progress Brewing. So he's a micro beer brewer. And then where is Nassim? Nassim, here's where's she? Nassim is down here. I think she's at the very end of the list. This is one of our Olympic gold medalists, Ed Moses. Here's Carolyn. She's a single mom, had her 2 daughters during the program. Barry Ripley was at Northrop as an engineer and then became an investment banker. Where in the world? She's all the way at the bottom. Okay, Nassim Afsar Manesh was the chief quality officer for UCLA Health while she was here, and a mother of 2. And then she went down to UC California Irvine for 3.5 years. And then I talked to her about 2 weeks ago, and she just got recruited by David Feinberg, who used to run UCLA Health and then went to Google Health and is now running Cerner. And she is the first ever chief health officer for Cerner, and she starts that job January 1st. So those could be people, like when they're on my podcast list, they kind of volunteer to answer questions on LinkedIn. So if you listen to one and ping, Nassim is a great resource because she's not on a leave of absence. She's just between jobs right now because her new job doesn't start till January 1. So, and she's just a super nice person. So that might be helpful. Our Dean Bernardo is our new dean. He's been dean the last 2 years, and he's got a commitment that UCLA Anderson, be a subject matter expert for UCLA Health, that we really, and so he's all about building bridges. I'm on a team with several UCLA Health doctors to teach a leadership course that is becoming really popular. So there's Dr. Suzanne Nicholas. I'm working in partnership with her. She has an NIH grant for her postdocs in renal health. She's a urologist. And so she's all about bringing those students over to take FEMBA electives. So one of Dean Bernardo's goals is that UCLA Anderson be like the first stop partner of all the other graduate programs on campus. So we're working hard to build those kind of bridges. We had a medical doctor a couple of years ago who was at UC San Diego. If you send me an email, dylan.stafford@anderson.ucla.edu, it's all over the website. I'll look him up. I can't remember his name offhand, but he had a pretty high level down at UC San Diego. So he would have graduated like 4 or 5 years ago, but I could put you guys in contact.
Oh, that's so helpful. Thank you so much. I will take a look at these podcasts, get linked up, and then I'll also send you an email. I appreciate this.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
so much.
Well, we're kind of coming up to 8 o'clock and I'm starting to run out of voice. So James, I saw you raise your hand and you put it back down. Is it quick? I hate to leave people with unanswered questions, and I didn't even get to the ones in the chat, but
it was fairly quick. Yeah, thank you very much. So from born in College Station, went to University of Tennessee.
Nice.
I've done hotels for 10 years, going the asset management route. So kind of a yes, no. Sounds like there might be two options for someone looking to specialize in asset management, whether it's a FEMBA or a specialization. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, FEMBA would be if you want to keep your job, and then within FEMBA, you have the opportunity to do it's yes, you can get a specialization in finance, or you can, and you can also, you have that third option for the field study. So 75% of people do the global access program, 25% do the business creation option, and a handful do what's called ASAM, the Anderson Student Asset Management, which is a 6-month master's thesis where you're going to have a portfolio, you're going to be making placements and, gauging your progress and result. So that's more of a niche, but it's a very popular niche for people who are really deep dives into finance. And we have a top 10 finance faculty. So if finance is your future, we'll take care of you for that.
That's great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, great. All right. Well, everyone, I don't know what's in the chat. Oh, these are thank yous and stuff. I thought maybe there's some questions. Okay. Oh, good. Some stuff. Okay, great. Well, happy holidays, everyone. The name of tonight was Why FEMBA. It's your one and only wild and precious life. Oh my God, I'm looking at you, PhD, MSW, but we have people with PhDs and doctorates already, right? We have 25 to 30% of our students already have a master's degree. So, come one, come all. This is a place for people who love learning, right? We're like high achieving people who love learning. If, in addition to the 3 pillars, I think that's a very accurate description of the kind of place that UCLA is. We just, we're a magnet for young, high aspiration human beings from all over the planet. And if management's your thing, what is a modern organization? Like, what makes it tick? How do you add value? How do you become a leader? Right. And you want to be conversant in that. This is a great way. This is a great way to set yourself up for the second half of your career. So, feel free, dylan.stafford@anderson.ucla.edu. We're going to wrap up. We're done Friday at noon. We're gone for 2 weeks, but we're back January 3rd. Those podcasts can, keep you company over the next 2 weeks. I love them. I interview really fascinating people. So, I hope those are useful. My team, I showed you their pictures at the very outset. Chris, thanks for being here tonight. We're all here to help. We will take a 2-week break. It's a campus shutdown starting Friday at noon, but we're back and running on January 3rd. And if you're in round 2, great. If you're in round 3, great. They'll both work. And thank you very much for your time and attention tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
All right. Thanks, Chris. I will, I'll export the attendee list and we'll send that over and we can log them in tomorrow. And then I need to check with Raymond about how to send the links in the PDF. But thanks so much. This was really super helpful. I can't imagine that I was going to try to do this without help. So if if you could work on some of these in the future, if you need the hours, we'd love to do it. And thanks for your time tonight.
Have a good rest of the week.
Okay, you too. Thanks, everybody. Good night.